What up YouTube, it's your boy Bobby G. We back with another reaction. Today we got a different video by Leon Lush. He's gonna talk to us about David Dobrik. This nigga's a sociopath. But before we jump into this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and pop up in the comments. And yeah, let's see what this man Leon Lush has.
But hear me out. There are a lot of reasons to criticize David that have been covered at length on YouTube. But in this video, I'm mostly interested in how the relationship between David and Jason Nash, his 50-year-old comedian friend that was integral in helping David build his online empire, has developed in recent years, and how it got to the point Jason is now e-begging for roses on TikTok live stream so he doesn't lose his house.
Let's go! Now trying to go for 50,000. We need 10,000 points for doubles, guys. Holy shit.
What the fuck? What does this world come to?
So to cover David, the vlog squad, and everything that's gone down in the past few years would take an entire weekend. But for a bit of context, right? David built an empire on the back of his friends. Over 17 million YouTube subscribers, billions of views, millions of followers elsewhere. Just incredible success, unbelievable wealth, car giveaways, insane trips and stunts and pranks, all with him behind the camera.
Yeah, I love not being in this.
Now, the amount of giveaways and some of these charity giveaways he did can't be understated. The man gave away a lot of the money he was getting, but it was always only for the sake of trying to make the content better, because as you'll see, when it comes to genuinely caring about people when there's not views and money and clout at stake, he kind of falls short.
Susie had a pretty good idea. What is it?
Red Woman and Kiso, they're not doing good financially, and I really think that we should help them.
And by we, you mean me.
Now, to his credit, he clearly works hard, and his shit was wildly entertaining. I'm not going to deny that. He would go to great lengths to make sure every second of his video was packed with a remarkable moment, usually at the expense of someone in his squad, always egging people on and premeditating bigger and better moments he would set the stage for. His entire life became directing the lives of his peers to garner as much attention as possible online. They would go on extravagant trips and film a weekend worth of content and condense that into a 4 or 5 minute video. And it worked really, really well until it didn't. There were sexual assault allegations for some scumbag named Dom in the vlog squad that David publicly dodged like the plague. Pretty messy situation. And this was when I think the yarn started to unravel. But more consequential to his career was the accident where Jeff Wittick almost died at David's hands for the sake of the almighty content. Oh, you know, we're just playing a little excavator swingy, and whoops-a-daisy, I don't know what I'm doing, so I swung you at full speed into the metal excavator, caved your face.
That actually do kind of look a little bit fun, but that is crazy.
And broke half the bones in your body and almost killed you. You know, once you recover, you mind just making a statement that everything's fine so I can, you know, post my vlog and get the views. I just want to make sure everyone knows we're cool, and it's no big deal. It was an accident after all. Yeah, so the fallout that came from that accident and the way it was handled by David and his squad was unbelievably telling and disastrous for David's image. And it was very hush-hush when it initially happened, but over the years, we've slowly gotten some information from both camps about what went down. It's become very clear that through all of it, David was somehow never able to just show a human side for a moment that said, "I'm so sorry, I fucked up, please forgive me," without it being riddled with excuses and stutters because he doesn't know how to actually handle a real situation because he has no backbone.
Before I even say anything, like that day is like the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I wish I would fucking do anything to take that day back.
Bro, this nigga sounds like he does not give a fuck. You can always tell when people like care or not care about a situation. Like, this shit is totally scripted. You know, he read that shit like
my hand is shaking.
He's trying to remember what he wrote. What the fuck?
Like, yeah, I mean, anything. Like, I'm being dead ass. Like, I wish it was me up there. I wish whatever. Like, it's like, it's the most unfortunate thing ever. And I think, and shitty, it's an accident. That's what it was. It's an accident. Like, I also want to make that clear. I don't know if people think that there's never a world where I would ever want that to happen to a person. I was never up there like driving the thing wanting to hurt him or whatever it was.
No shit, David. Everyone knows you weren't trying to intentionally kill your friend. Could have made a fire vlog though. I mean, he could just be someone that doesn't know how to handle real difficult situations. There was no compass of how to put the business aside for a second and be a human being and do what you needed to do to show Jeff that you fucked up and show remorse. I mean, literally like a day or two after this accident, he had his assistant reach out to Jeff just to be like, oh, how you doing? Are you okay? Oh, just want to make sure you're good because we want to make sure we can get that statement from you that everything's good and we want to show the vlog. Like, it was always business all the time. They couldn't just turn it off for 1 second after almost killing a dude to be like, hey, man.
That can be good in some ways, though, in the way that he's literally always about the business and shit. But
believe that happened. What can we do, David?
Like, bro, I wish I would have seen exactly like what the fuck happened. Did he just like swing around the shit and then hit the damn crane or something?
Describing the incident as the worst thing that ever happened to me and not the worst thing I've ever done is very telling. Who would have imagined that David was the biggest victim of David nearly killing someone? Needless to say, the comments didn't let him off easy. As time went on, it became more apparent that David really lacked the appropriate empathy in the situation and totally fucking fumbled the way he handled it.
However it's received, maybe we won't have a podcast after this. You know, like Dave was joking before we came in that this is our last podcast, and yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm okay with that.
Update: Jason Nash was not ready for that. Ironically, after that episode aired,
hell no, he was not ready for that. Bro was in his kitchen asking for flowers on TikTok Live,
where they talked about the whole thing, and Jason was like, yeah, this might be the end of the podcast. The podcast, by the way, that they had been running for over 4 or 5 years with 200 plus episodes, where they were probably...
So the podcast is literally called Views, bro. What the fuck? Nigga, asking for views, bro. I'm gonna make a channel and call it Subscribe.
That was it. It was done, because after the blowback from the situation that continued to escalate and people got to see David for who he really was, I don't think he could handle it. He basically ghosted the internet and has been hiding out on Snapchat ever since. Probably because, guess what? Snapchat doesn't have a comment section. Convenient. So that is a rough summary of what happened.
This motherfucker do live on Snapchat. I ain't gonna lie. His stories always fucking pop up on my shit. These niggas always like doing something, bro, but it's always on Snap.
Vlog Squad, as we knew them in their golden day, no longer exists. David and his close friends now that are still trying to ride his coattails hang out on Snapchat, where they apparently make quite a bit of money, and David made so much money in his heyday as well, he won't have to work another day for the rest of his life, I'm sure. Which leads me to why I made this video in the first place, because I am curious why Jason Nash, his confidant, one of his day ones that helped him build an online empire and co-hosted a podcast with him for 200 plus episodes, is now panhandling on TikTok so he doesn't lose his home.
That ass, bro. You know David Dobrik, he keeping the lion's share. He ain't giving nobody shit. Come on. Feeling overwhelmed. You know how this shit works.
So before all of this went down in the golden days of the Vlog Squad, Jason Nash was one of the most important pieces of the puzzle, no doubt, to the point where in addition to being heavily featured in the videos, he was co-hosting the popular podcast called Views that, as you know, ran for 4 years and did over 200 episodes. But let's get a little insight into how things began.
I was just doing stand-up one night at the Improv, and David was in the audience, and then he talked to me after. He's like, oh, you should come to YouTube. And I was like, I can't do YouTube. I'm like 43. And he was like, oh, why not? Like, just go do it. I really owe him my life. He was like, oh, well, how much money do you need to make a month? And I was like, I need like $5,000 a month. I was like, oh, you can make $5,000 a month. And so then like I made like a very, very bad first YouTube video with him. And then maybe like 4 months later, I was making like $35,000 a month. Really? I called my ex-wife. She's like, I need money for something. And I was like, oh, I got it. No problem. She's like, how? And I was like, oh, I'm making like $35,000 a month. And there was just like a long silence on the end of the phone. She was like, what? It felt so good.
So that was the beginning of
okay, low-key, that's a W story. I ain't gonna lie. That's a W story.
a relationship, and it is kind of inspiring that David essentially found Jason and convinced him or motivated him to start putting some content online. Jason was at a low point in his life at that time, and obviously through David's success, he was able to kind of bring Jason up along with him, and it turned into a pretty funny dynamic. They had a really good shtick going together where Jason was like the old irresponsible guy that couldn't take care of himself, the old divorced dad or whatever, and just hanging out with all these young kids, and it created an entertaining dynamic.
Digital tickets. No. Why are you walking like you just took it up the ass?
This is what happens when life f***s you for 45 years.
How's vacation?
Oh, God damn it!
It created endless opportunities for Jason to kind of be.
Bro, okay, that shit definitely looked like that shit hurt, bro. I know that shit hurt. But I always remember seeing that old ass dude on David Dobrik's thumbnails and shit, and I just felt like it was weird, bro. Like, don't y'all ever feel like it's weird to see an old ass person just chilling with a bunch of young folks? Like, that shit was just really corny.
The YouTube channel description of their podcast was taking shots at Jason, as it was hosted by a sexy 24-year-old millionaire David Dobrik and 47-year-old divorced dad Jason Nash. And this dynamic had a hell of a run through countless videos, Jason's own personal YouTube channel, and of course the podcast, which God only knows how much money that made. So this all leads me to just a mountain of questions of how Jason got to where he's at today. But also David's role in that, and the fucked up nature of some recent interactions they've had, which we'll see in a minute.
The same sample. AKS! 20 seconds left. Beefo Sports Station. Everybody bring that green home guy. Slide now. Slide. Slide. 8, 7. Need it bigger. AKS. Yeah! Beefo!
The hell could have done this to a man?
So after all of this success with the Vlog Squad, the Views podcast,
David Dobrik, bro, you fucked up, bro. You dead ass really evil for letting this man be out on TikTok live, dude. That is embarrassing.
David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad hit a brick wall, and he bounces, goes off to Snapchat, and kind of leaves a bunch of carnage in his wake. But one would assume that Jason Nash, playing the role that he played in David's ascension to internet stardom, and being part of the podcast for as long as he was, talking in that clip about making $35,000 a month early on. This is before he even had his, you know what I mean? One would think that he would probably be set. So I'm racking my brain. I'm thinking, like, through all of the things that this squad did, all of the things that they did, was David the single beneficiary of all of this fucking money because it was David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad? There's clips of David talking about turning down $10 to $20 million when they decided to discontinue the podcast. How much money did they make in the 4 to 5 years that they did it?
He walked away from $10 to $20 million. He's like, insane. But he didn't want to do it anymore.
This man went from being this close to having a percentage of a $10 to $20 million payday to talking to a microphone once a week to doing TikTok's live battles for roses to pay rent. I can only imagine the level of salt, and I genuinely feel bad, because what the fuck happened? Either there was some unbelievable financial neglect on David's side where he just didn't take care of this dude who had given him everything, or Jason Nash is the most financially irresponsible person of all time, and he lived way above his means and blew through millions of dollars in a few short years. I suppose it's...
He might be right about that, honestly. There's a reason why he was 43 and broke in the first place. Like, some people just aren't ready for that type of money, though. Like, damn, bro.
My opinion of TikTok live streams are they are the epicenter of actual e-begging on the internet. It's like panhandling outside of a Dunkin' Donuts, but in the digital age. You just like sit there with all this bullshit on screen and say shit and do shit to incentivize people to just give you money.
Ice cream so good.
Let's get back to the TikTok live stuff, Jason. Because that's what we're all curious about here. When does the despair kick in?
So it's gotten to the point now where people are talking about it to him on the podcast, and he's once again playing the role of the butt of the joke, where it's like everyone's just laughing at him for being in such a financial hole that he has to TikTok live stream, and it's like, laugh out loud. Oh, Jason, you really fucked it if you only got that 10 to 20 million from that podcast deal. David really fucked you, didn't he? That's hilarious. This sucks, huh?
The despair never kicks in.
Shit is tragic.
The despair's always there.
At 4 hours is great because you're like punchy, so the real you is there.
Does any of the negativity affect you around it?
No, it really doesn't. At first, when I would see the comments, it did affect me. I was like, oh man, this is bad. And then now I've seen every comment. It's actually made me stronger. The other day, Scott was complaining about a mean comment that he got. Your music's so sad. Why don't you try to do something more uplifting? And I was just like, bro, you gotta come on TikTok Live. You gotta see the real And it does. It just makes you stronger. Now look, would I be on TikTok Live if I wasn't in like a financial hole? I don't know. Probably not. But also, like, YouTube wasn't really working.
How?
And I needed to find something.
How?
Fans. And TikTok came to me. They were like, we'll help you. And I was like, okay, it is what it is.
You have children. I think a lot of people don't realize that. It's like, you have kids. You need to support your children somehow.
100%. I literally would do to support my kids. I'm on there 8 hours a day, entertaining people. People want to come in.
I mean, this is your job. This is what you do.
Yeah,
You've been doing.
That's how I see it. And that's it. And if
So he's literally admitting to being in a financial hole right now. That
anybody doesn't like it, it's like...
And David Dobrik's over here living his life, bro, just like he don't have to do shit. That's crazy.
Listen, I like Jason. I think he's a funny guy, if I'm being honest. But the level of financial negligence it must have taken to crash and burn that hard so fast after having such a run with the Vlog Squad and that podcast, unless, like I said, he really just wasn't seeing any of it and David was pocketing everything, which seems insane to me, but David's behavior would lead me to believe that might be a possibility, in which case I feel bad. Otherwise, I don't feel as bad. I still do, but you got to have some responsibility in this industry, right? When you have a run, like professional athletes, we've seen this a million times. They have this windfall of money, and they're like a running back and have 3 great years, busting AC.
Bro, look up Delonte West, bro. That's all you need to know about blowing a bag.
Yeah, nobody wants him, and all of a sudden the money stops, and holy shit, they spent it all on a $3 million house and $500,000 cars. The same thing, and then when you're in the entertainment industry, you have a career, man, you need to plan for your future, brother, especially if you're in your 40s, dude. You're not like a young 22-year-old that can just pick up a new hustle. Like, brother, you got to start planning for this shit. Now, since everyone's making fun of Jason now for having to apparently TikTok live stream to pay for his bills, David couldn't stand to not be in on the joke, obviously, so he decided to pay Jason a visit and document the whole thing on Snapchat and see if they could keep that old buddy camaraderie going.
Guys, I'm visiting Jason. I like to visit him at least once a week just to make sure that he's alive. I know that he's doing TikTok live every day.
That's cap. No, he don't. That's super cap.
Now, but I'm still not convinced it's him. It could be AI at this point. Jason!
Oh my god, I thought you were Wyatt. I got so freaked out.
You haven't seen him in a while?
Yeah.
Live streaming.
I was, and then it wasn't going well, so I got off.
Dude, you're kind of becoming a legend on TikTok now.
I know.
The pain in this man's eyes, right?
Bro, how is this not giving off like sus vibes, bro? Like this, like I cringe when I listen to this man talk. I can't lie. No old man in his 40s should be over here talking, slouching on his couch like that with the slippers, just like, come on. Fuck is you doing, bro?
Oh my god, I thought you were Wyatt. I got so freaked out.
You haven't seen him in a while?
Yeah.
Live streaming.
I was, and then it wasn't going well, so I got off.
This man is definitely a Fruity Pebble, bro. We have a Fruity Pebble right here. Old Fruity Pebbles. I didn't know you can have Fruity Pebbles this old.
Dude, you're kind of becoming a legend on TikTok now.
I know.
The pain in this man's eyes right here. And David's just in there laughing at him.
Not in a good way.
Yeah, but
wearing a fucking crown.
Wearing a crown hat, bro, in front of somebody who's down bad thousands. That's filthy work, David.
It's the subtleties are really what make this dude super fucked.
I think it's fun.
Not in a good way.
I've seen TikToks with like take a shot every time Jason Nash is on live.
Hilarious. There's a funny game we're playing now where we take a shot every time Jason has to log into TikTok live to support himself. It's fucking so funny. This dude that gave me his whole life for the last 6 years and helped me build my brand and did a podcast with me is now panhandling because he can't pay his bills. Oh boy, that's fucking, I love that shit.
Is Jason doing okay? And Joe's like, I haven't seen him on live in a while. And I go, how long has it been? He's like, hours. And that's when we start to worry when you haven't been on live. You look like you just got back from like a Christmas dinner. Why are you dressing so nice?
Well, you do better on TikTok live when you look nice.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Where did you get that stat that you do better on TikTok live? Is that just from testing?
No, someone told me that.
Bro, what the fuck? You should never look into another nigga's eyes like this. And if another nigga looks at you in the eyes like this, bro, look the other way. Or like, don't make eye contact because this is weird, bro.
Wait, really?
I met this live streamer. He's a really nice guy. He was like, hey, little tip. It's like, when you dress nice, you'll do better. And I was like, all right, and then I tried it out. But then again, I didn't make any money today, so.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having us over in your little hobbit home.
Now, to add additional context, there are estimates that David, simply from posting to Snapchat daily, is making between $30,000 and $40,000 a day.
We were all talking about the potential of him making, 25 grand a day. And I think I think that honestly that number has gone up a lot. If I had to guess, it would probably be closer to 30 to like 40 now. Just with I think it's all he does. It's really all he does.
That's approximately $10 million a year. Now, When people are rich and successful, I don't expect them to take care of everybody around them. But in the case of David and Jason, if you are wealthy beyond your years and still making $10 million a year, and you see your friend in this situation, your friend that helped you build your brand and gave you everything for years and co-hosted a podcast with, and you go over and laugh at him about it, there's only two possibilities here in my brain. The first one is that David is a sociopath and completely lacks any ability to have empathy, because everything that he does through the view of how can I make this content. So instead of like genuinely just putting the camera down for a second, going and talking with Jason and seeing what's going on and seeing if there's any way he can help, he puts on a Burger King crown, walks into his house with his phone out, and laughs at him for having to panhandle to pay his bills. The only other possibility that I can think of that is non-0% because of their history of doing skits and the way their dynamic is that this is somehow a bit. They must have premeditated it and been like, Jason, it would be hilarious if...
Bro, it's got to be a scam. It could be. Maybe this nigga has M's in the bank account and he's chilling and he's fine. Niggas just wanted to scam for more money.
If we pretended or created the narrative that you were broke now, since we don't do the YouTube channel stuff anymore, and you have to panhandle on TikTok in order to make it, and we can all make fun of you for it, that'll be great. Ha ha ha. And they're laughing as millions of dollars enter their bank account. I want that to be the reality, because then joke's on me, kudos to them. I got duped and I felt bad for Jason when really they're just pocketing all types of money. But I genuinely think that it's the former. I think David actually is that out of touch with real human friendship and connection. I mean, in what we saw with the situation with Jeff, it's clear that he is unable to have empathy and put himself in someone else's shoes and be helpful in a way that isn't just something that's going to get him views and attention. Like the idea of David doing something nice for somebody off camera, not for the sake of making content, has probably never crossed his mind once. And those to me are the worst kind of people. You know, like we've seen over the years this increase in this kind of charitable content.
Yeah, bro, people like that never, like, they literally can never last. Pause. But motherfuckers like that literally never last, bro, because then eventually people just stop fucking with you. Like, people will just stop wanting to be around a person who just wants everything for them. Like
similar to what Mr. Beast does, where people are just giving away things or doing things because it's a good way to go viral, it's a good way to make money and build your brand. And David Dobrik strikes me as exactly that type of person. This is the equivalent of a former boss showing up to your new employment after firing you and roasting you for not getting paid enough. Jesus Christ. David sitting on multi-millions laughing at his friend. Ouch.
I think I've always thought I had like really solid empathy.
Yeah,
because I am really empathetic when it comes to like strangers. For some reason I'm really good with like people that I've like just met.
Yeah, sounds just like someone that's not a sociopath. I think I really always thought
that's like calling yourself mature, bro. Like, that's immaturity.
Like solid empathy? Is that what you're supposed to say when you... How do you... I think I always thought that I knew how to care for people. Care for people? Empathy? Like I mean, I have empathy for strangers because I give them money and cars, but wait, am I only doing that for...
Bro, dead ass, he literally was not sure about what the fuck he was saying.
My own benefit? Because I make so much money and I know I can make viral content, or do I actually care about them? You know, I was truly convinced I had a really solid empathy. Bro is fucking cooked, dude.
What I learned recently, and like quite recently, is that it's not only like putting yourself in other people's shoes, but it's like putting yourself in their shoes as them, as the way they process things.
The irony on the Views podcast saying that to Jason. Certainly David has talent and an eye for what is popular and what will go viral online, but he would be absolutely nothing without the people that he is filming all the time. To build a small fortune on the back of those people and not also set them up is ludicrous. You can't take care of everybody. There's obviously going to be peripheral members that are involved in their own capacity, and they're there because they know they're going to get some clout and it's going to help their personal brand. But when this is a dude you rely on daily and he's part of your podcast and he's fucking panhandling on TikTok now, and you're laughing in a fucking Burger King crown, pulling 40 a day. David Dobrik's a sociopath.
That's dead ass at first, bro. Like, that's a different type of fucked up
sociopath. There's no other way.
There's a different type of douchebag, honestly. Like,
There's no other way to explain it. Or I'm just a completely gullible idiot and have been totally duped by their new shtick. Regardless, there's no way that Jason Nash didn't make a significant amount of money through those years, regardless of what the deal was. So he's obviously to blame in some respects as well. But this whole thing just made me very sad. I just saw this online
Bro, this dude kind of reminds me of JJ Watt a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
the other day, and I see Jason's over a decade older than I am. I'm old in YouTube years, but like, man, I don't know. It's just it's tough. I'd love to see David step in and at least throw this dude a bone. I don't know, make content out of it, give him a car. Oh, we bought his house for him, make a fucking video for Snapchat. But also, Jason, bro, like, you gotta talk to a financial advisor, dog. Holy shit. Curious what you guys think. I know a lot of you were probably Vlog Squad fans.
Damn, alright, I think that's gonna be it for that video. Let me know in the comments below, what do y'all think about this whole David Dobrik situation with Jason Nash? Dude, that shit is sad, I ain't gonna lie. You should always help those people out that, like, from the start helped you, but I don't know, David Dobrik don't believe in that. Yeah, that shit is crazy. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, fuck with your boy on the socials, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.